Hello everyone, welcome back to another stream on Fantasy Football Scout. Today I'm going to be reviewing my Game Week 6 score and showing you my Game Week 7 team and how we're getting on. A lot to discuss in this stream and looking ahead of Game Week 7 where I'm a manager who's not used the wildcard just yet. And I've only used my triple captain this week, which is a good way to start the stream. Gianni, how are we keeping?
Very well, mate. We're in the same boat there. We both use triple captain. Neither of us have wildcarded. Really keen to discuss your wildcard plans moving forward, and I'll mention mine as well. I mean, I'm not entirely sure. I haven't booked in necessarily a definite slot yet. But yeah, good to see so many in the chat. We're recording this as Aston Villa just about to beat Fulham. There's a couple of minutes left. Does look like FPL have tweeted saying Morgan Rogers is given the assist because he got the last touch. It came off his hand. Salah got a last touch on Chiesa yesterday, which came off his hand, and that wasn't given as a Salah assist. So, you know, a bit annoyed there.
Yeah, for sure. Do let us know if the audio is okay, lads. I've tampered with it a small bit, so be sure to be critical. Yeah, that's quite frustrating. I thought there was definitely a chance that Watkins get this assist, and I'm actually quite surprised he hasn't. Again, I am a previous Morgan Rogers owner. Gianni, first off, how's the game week going for yourself as a triple captainer? Again, a lot were on wildcard this week. How's your team getting on?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have returns really anywhere yesterday other than Senesi. Like, Senesi continues to deliver. And I'm delighted to say I'm one of the Senesi owners that didn't wildcard this week. It feels like most of Senesi owners are those on wildcard. So I was able to benefit from Senesi and triple captain Haaland. And then obviously Watkins. Other than that, I don't think I've had a decent return from anyone. But those three players, Watkins, Senesi, but more so triple captain Haaland, which you know I've been banging the drum since last Saturday that I locked in last Saturday that it was triple captain Haaland. And because of that, all my content this week has been geared towards this is the best opportunity. So it was so nice this morning reading so many comments on my YouTube videos being like, thank you so much for driving that agenda so hard. I triple captain because of you. Now, of course, if he had flopped, I would have got it, right? So I was very happy to take a little bit of a little bit of credit, although I'm sure most would have landed there. It just made sense, didn't it?
Absolutely. On that note, let me show you my current Game Week 6 score. Now, one little caveat. We still have Arsenal, who a lot of wildcarders have, assuming a Victor Gyökeres, Raya and Gabriel. I think everyone and their dog has that. I've got no Arsenal.
Also, we do not want an Arsenal. We want a Newcastle goal, don't we? You and I
think it is likely. If I'm going against it for a week, I think this is the week. Also, Iliman Ndiaye and Nuno Espirito Santos has to play on Monday. So take the rank with a grain of salt. But we are currently at 50k with
huge
9 players blanking in my own team this game week. And only 2 returns from my forwards in triple captaining Erling Haaland, and currently an 8-pointer as things stand. I don't know if the game is over yet.
The final whistle's just gone, and as things stand, he's on 2 bonus, so that would be the 8. Yeah.
Sweet. So yeah, started the game week at 108k rank, currently at 52k. If you're asking me now, I expect a small red arrow after this Arsenal game, providing things don't get too crazy and Gabriel doesn't pick up a goal and an assist and 3 bonus. And also Iliman Ndiaye, just hoping he doesn't do too much on Monday night. But so far so good. At the start of the week, I said that I'd be happy with a grey arrow due to only playing triple captaincy, which was 16 points in the end. But a lot of people wildcarded. And if you wildcarded, you likely brought in the likes of a Senesi or a Semenyo, which I don't have in my team, unfortunately. And I have the likes of a Porro. But let me run through my team for anyone who's listening on audio. On goal, we've got Robert Sanchez. 3 at the back in Matty Cash, Pedro Porro, Nico Williams. 5 in midfield in Cody Gakpo, Phil Foden, Mohamed Kudus, Bruno Fernandes and Brian Mbeumo. 2 up top in Erling Haaland and Ollie Watkins. Currently on 66 points all out. And 52k rank, like I said. So my dilemmas going into the game week were not too bad. I thought my team was quite decent going into the week. I was left with a dilemma with 2.5 million in the bank and 1 free transfer. The decision I decided to go down and the route I went with was Phil Foden in for Morgan Rogers, who's frustratingly...
I love that move. Yeah. I love that move. You were so unlucky.
So at the start of the week, I predicted Gakpo would start with Ekitike missing out. which was not the case. And I thought because the 3 day turnaround, there was a slight chance Morgan Rogers might miss out. And of course, Burnley at home for Foden was a no-brainer if I could do the move. So again, it didn't work out in my favour this time around. Looking at some other holes in my team, of course, Mohamed Kudus with the offside goal. Bruno Fernandes, of course, who missed the penalty. Brian Mbeumo, who won the penalty. Cody Gakpo, who was benched. Porro, who was benched. Nico Williams, who's now playing for Ange Postecoglou. And Robert Sanchez, who have a discombobulated defence. So, not ideal going into this game week, to be honest. But there's a lot out of my control. Again, what went well? The triple captaincy, Gianni, which you were an advocate on. I had it on all week except one day, which I texted into your group chat, Gianni. I said I was unsure. And then we got training photos, which solidified whether or not I was going to play it. So, happy with the triple captain, of course. Not the greatest game week from myself. Again, I'll be happy with a grey arrow come the end of this game week. Adding more, if I somehow see green, which I think is unlikely, I will be delighted. But decent game week, considering all the players that didn't play, and a small bit of unfortunate stuff happening going against me. Gianni, what do you think of the team?
Yeah, I mean, it was a week where nothing really landed for you, but the big thing that you needed to land was Watkins and Haaland, and both came in a big way. So I like it, mate. I mean, fair play. I love the Foden move. I love our chat on you had one day where you weren't going to triple captain. It was the day you WhatsApp my WhatsApp group. But let me ask you a question, because I like the narrative that we're spinning, which you saw me mention on my stream this morning, which is Chai was never going to do it, and I convinced him to, which clearly is not 100% factual. When you made your team selection video on your channel, what did you say regarding triple captain? Was that the day you weren't doing it?
So on the day of my team selection, I said, unless we get training photos from Erling Haaland, I'm taking off the triple captain. So
yeah,
it's almost there.
Though. Yeah, I guess, but you knew deep down it was very likely we'd get the training pictures, though, right?
Yeah, 100%. And City seems to be that one team that we always get leaks on. And again, during the deadline stream, we did, of course, get the confirmation about him starting. So it worked out in the end, and of course, delighted with it.
Well played, man. I feel like for those in the chat that aren't on wildcard, the vast majority would have gone triple captain. So there's going to be a huge amount of green arrows for engaged managers this week. When I look at your team, though, I'm like, oh, you don't need to wildcard in 7 because you've got players like Foden with a good fixture. You want your double Man United versus Sunderland. But my big question to you is double Man United versus Sunderland actually any good? I don't know if I expect anything for Bruno and Mbeumo against Sunderland. I think Sunderland will give as good as they get, won't they?
Yeah, sure.
About those two?
I suppose it depends what lens you look at it in. Right.
Yeah.
If I own double Burnley versus Sunderland at home and I had the penalty taker and Anthony, I'll be playing him. This is United at Old Trafford. I think it is, I would fancy United. I think the bookies will also fancy United. Maybe not to win the game, but from a goal scoring perspective, you'd like to think that their odds would be quite decent. Again, I would say quite unfortunate with the penalty miss. Again, second penalty miss of the season for Bruno. 5 minutes it took to take that penalty, Gianni. What do you make of that?
Substitutions were, 4 minutes to get the wrong conclusion on VAR is a joke because it was clearly a red card. But then I'm like, the substitutions from Keith Andrews was proper housery. Love it.
Yeah, I've actually never seen that before. When it was happening, he has the ball in his hand and I have a knot in my stomach. I'm like, he's gonna miss. Brian Mbeumo won the penalty. He's gonna miss. But massive swing. Of course, if Bruno scores, he's likely gets a 10-pointer, and it brings Mbeumo up to 6 or 7 and changes the state of the game. But it is what it is. Again, stuff like that is going to happen. Some weeks it's going to go against you. Some weeks it'll go for you. Last week, fortunately enough, it was Chelsea who got the red card, and Bruno returned as I captained him. So I understand that things are going to go against me sometimes, and I'm more than happy to live with it. But yeah, that was the game week 6 score. Again, things are to change. Let's take a look at my game week 7 bus team, Gianni, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's see how you're set. Come on, because this is going to play heavily into when you're wildcarding, and I know you've always said sort of around game week 8, but I want to see if that's still the case.
So in front of you, I have the game week 7 bus team. Let me quickly run you through. On goal, we've got Robert Sanchez. 3 at the back, Cash, Porro and Williams. 5 in midfield, Foden, Gakpo, Kudus, Mbuemo, Fernandez. Two up top in Haaland and Watkins. 1.3 million in the bank and one free transfer to make. First off, I really like the team for this game week. The fixtures are there for almost every player bar Gakpo, Williams, and Sanchez. Again, we've got double Villa with Burnley at home, double Spurs with Leeds away, double United with Sunderland at home, and double City with Brentford away. Again, the only poor fixtures really being for Cody Gakpo, who I'm looking to make way. And again, we have two slides here to show two of my suggested transfers. But Gianni, first off, before I say anything, what would you suggest for me?
Oh, it's such a tough one, isn't it? I myself am looking at like game week 7 wildcard going. You can have loads of fun with that. But I've got a couple of players just like you've got that I don't want on wildcard, but I would love to play in game week 7. Like I would love Ollie Watkins in game week 7 versus Burnley. I've got him, but he's not making my wildcard team. But I'm like, give him that fixture. You've not only got Watkins, you've got those United lads. Like, I think if you're wildcarding tomorrow, I'd be tempted to probably not pick a United player. But for home Sunderland, and no disrespect, because Sunderland are great, but you'd want to back those players in that fixture. Again, I don't know if you put in, you're not putting Matty Cash in a wildcard team, but you're one in for Burnley at home. So you've got to, there's no chance you wildcard this team. I know you won't. But in terms of transfers out, I mean, I'll be getting rid of Gakpo straight away. But are we talking, your transfers obviously affect when you're wildcarding. So are you wildcarding in 8? Because if so, Gakpo's an immediate sell. If you're not, then maybe he's not.
Yeah, I think I'm almost certain on wildcard 8. I've set myself up
Right.
from game week 3 to wildcard in game week 8.
So you just need a 1 week punt, effectively.
Exactly that.
Yeah. So Gakpo out makes sense, or you go Williams out to an Arsenal defender, but that's not sexy. That's not really you.
You know me too well. So, on that note, my first suggestion for my own team is to remove Cody Gakpo, and a lot of people are not going to like this, to Mateus Cunha. Triple United attack.
Oh my God, the disrespect to Sunderland.
Again, nothing against Sunderland because, again, I just feel like if
Mate,
you
Go Doku. Go triple City instead. City score 5 goals, can score 5 goals any game. United might score 0.
Gianni, there's just a small bit of a interruption with your mic. Again, I don't know if it's from my end, but it's just a little
No, I
crackle.
think it's me, man.
Yeah,
I
is
think
it
it's
you?
me. I'll hurry up. Go on, you carry on.
So again, I hate to be disrespectful to Sunderland because that's not the case at all. For me, what it is in game week 4, I believe it was when United played Burnley and people were on free hit. A lot of people triple United. A lot of people were making a move of bringing in Cunha slash Mbuemo. Fortunately enough, I didn't bring in Cunha. I went down the route of Mbuemo, and I think Mbuemo has been good so far. But for me, why not go against the odds? Loads of people would have wildcarded out the United boys. I think at home is a different game. Sunderland have been amazing, don't get me wrong. But it is still a small sample size. If you're asking me now, like, do I expect Sunderland to stay mid-table this season? I think it's unlikely. Is
Yeah.
it stupid? Absolutely, and that's why this is not the likely move I'll make this week. Because I know I understand if you don't like it, but this is the unlikely route I would go, if only if I'm feeling bold. But overall, Gianni, Kuna, what a selfish player. I don't know if you watched that game last
Yeah,
week.
so he's desperate to get on the score sheet at his new club, isn't he? You saw it even game week 1 and 2. Like, he is desperate to score a goal in a Man United shirt. It's coming.
Yeah, it is coming for sure, and that's why I feel like Mbuemo has been unfortunate not to return recently, man. And that's just for me. And a load are saying, yeah, 2 United is a stretch, but like Fernandez returned last week. I think he's one that I think will tick away nicely. He's going to be one of those that, obviously, when he misses a penalty, he's not going to come away with a good score. But again, 11 DEFCON. I know that's not why we would buy him, but he was so close to another haul, Gianni. And again, he's done really well from my own side. Again, Gianni, a few saying about your mic. But I've captained him twice this season so far. And again, the captaincy is currently on him again. I don't know if I'm going to go there, I'll be honest. But it is tempting for me.
I've just changed my mic to my laptop mic. Is that any better, guys? Let me know in the chat. Remind me who you're talking about that got DEFCON and you like? Bruno.
Bruno, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. He was so deep again yesterday, and I know people will say it doesn't matter. He's got the routes to points. He does. United have had 3 penalties in 6 games. Like, they're going to win loads of pens. It's Man United. They always do. But the open play threat yesterday was non-existent. There was nothing. And 9 million's a lot for a DEFCON beast. So, is it my mobile? No, hang on. Static in the system. Is your mobile close to your mic? Hang on, let me go find my phone. Maybe it's going. I don't know. Mate, I'll be back in a minute.
No worries. Sorry, guys. I do.
Bruno, and Mbermo. Does Bruno stay on pens?
I honestly thought after that 5 minutes was up, turn off and on again. Yes, sorry lads about the audio. Do apologise about that. I thought Mbeumo was going to pick up the ball off Bruno. Bruno is the type of player where, I feel like Mbeumo's a bit low on confidence since Grimsby. So I expected, Bruno being the captain he is, and we've seen him do it before with Rashford handing the ball away. So I'm unsure if he. I feel like Bruno's also lacking confidence for what it's worth. I think he probably will take the next one, and that's just me. But I also wouldn't be surprised at the same time.
Mate, I'm so sorry. I don't know what it is. Don't know why my mic's bad. It's plugged in. Should be working, but looks like it's crap.
Yeah, I wonder, is it from my end? Let me try playing a video. Hold on, from my end, see if it does anything. I'll try talk away though, Gianni, for the time being. 1 second. But yeah, no, I think my team going into this week is definitely solid. Like if you were on free hit, Gianni, I feel like you would have probably 6 of these players, perhaps. Maybe you don't go Watkins.
Mate, if I'm on free hit, I'm not sure I go a Man United player.
Really?
Genuinely. If I'm on free hit, I'm going Doku, Foden, triple City attack. I'm not sure I go a Man United player on free hit. I go Saka. I go Gyökeres. It's plugged in. I go Watkins. I'm not convinced I pick a Man United player. Maybe my audio is better now. Let me know in the chat, guys.
Rob is saying his audio is fine. It's unusual, lads. Gianni, I don't mind taking this stream on by myself, answering questions, because it'll be hard watch for those on Spotify, I imagine. So if you want, I can take it from here.
Mate, that would be great. If my audio is bad, if someone could let me know if it's improved now, though. Just knowing Rob said Gianni sounds fine to me. If it doesn't, then yeah, we've probably done all we can. I don't know what is going on, but random. Audio's still very bad. It is. I tell you what, I'll stay in the chat and I'll bounce off all your comments in the chat.
All right, sweet. I guess we'll leave you there, Gianni. So, all right. So where was I? Okay. Do drop your questions in chat, lads. I do apologize about that, lads. If it's a bit staticky, we're trying our best here, but just leave your questions in chat. I'll take this solo. I'll give you some of my thoughts of where I am with my own team. It is quite unusual, but anyway, where I am with my own team, I feel like Matheus Cunha would have been the one transfer for me. The second one for me, let's put him in, is Arabeshi Eze, who does play today. He's in the team. I feel like that's a great move and a good 1 week punt due to I feel like he's going to start getting game time, and a lot of people won't go there now that if they're on wildcard, they wouldn't have went there, and I don't imagine too many are going to be transferring him in because, again, long term, we don't know how secure his minutes are. But as a 1 week punt with West Ham at home, I think is brilliant personally. And I'll be interested to see how he gets on today. Again, big game versus Newcastle. John says, are you from Waterford? You sound like you are. I don't know how someone can sound like they're from there, but yes, actually I am, which is gas. Was Gakpo being benched by Slot showing us what will happen when everyone is back? Yeah, I feel like we're starting to see that type of pep roulette with Arne Slot. Slot has a big entourage of players now, again, with the money they're after spending. To see Cody Gakpo be dropped, I would say, for Wirtz, who's been woeful this season, I mean, it's mad. After just signing a new contract as well. Now, I understand Gakpo hasn't been, phenomenal or anything, but still surprising to me because he's a natural left winger. And Slot said that himself. But yeah, definitely unusual. I think it is going to be a common theme until Salah heads off to AFCON. Maybe Isaac might be solidified at some point when Salah goes away. But it's going to be interesting in game week 8 after the international break whether or not Isaac is going to make his way into a lot of wildcarders team. I'll be intrigued to see that. And also another thing is, like I was saying, I'm currently on wildcard 8, and I think it makes for a really interesting team selection in wildcard 8 because of the international break. A lot of managers would have went quite similar on a game week 6 wildcard due to how the fixtures were, and also the need for Erling Haaland. But in wildcard 8, I feel like he can get Salah back in. He of course plays United at home, which is a great opening fixture. I mean, United look really, really poor. It's just whether or not us managers who are on wildcard 8 want to go towards doubling up on Haaland and Salah. And I think when the fixtures do change in game week 14, 15, 16, when the likes of Haaland and Salah play Leeds, Sunderland, might I add, we're targeting Leeds and Sunderland, even though right now the dynamic doesn't look like that. But I imagine come game week 8, come game week 14, we'll have a different perspective on these teams. Whether or not it's Sunderland who stay consistent, or if it's teams like West Ham who still haven't got their stuff together while Nuno is in. I suppose time will tell. But again, I imagine some sort of team will definitely be the ones we target come game week 14. So I was looking at a few wildcards with game week 8, and for me, it's hard to pick any other City assets other than Reinders and Haaland. And that's why I feel like you almost have to still go Haaland in game week 8, because there's no other options for me. And sure, you could say the same with Liverpool. Maybe now with Gakpo and Wirtz being a bit underwhelming. The only other one you have is Ekitike and Isaac. But Isaac with Ekitike looming around, I'm unsure of as well. Gianni says Phil Foden in chat. And also, we've got a £2 super chat from Cactus Jack. He says, saw FPL Chai in the title, had to show some love. Good to see you, Cactus Jack. And I do appreciate you showing support. We really appreciate it here. And again, just to apologise about the audio, lads. I know we try our best here. Not good enough, but we'll try to get it sorted for the next stream. I often have issues with audio myself. Usually it's my end, and maybe it is still my end this time around. So not to put the blame on Gianni, it's just unfortunate. It does happen, lads. Again, we are doing things from home. We are trying our best for you lot. Let me see, where are the questions? He goes, you sound a little like John Milan. Interesting. But yeah, Marmouche and Sharky back soon. Exactly that, Gianni. That's what was part of my thinking as well. Eden says, Wildcard 8 feels risky if it means missing out on Arsenal versus West Ham, unless you're free hitting in game week 7. I don't know, I feel like in a given week, Eden, you're always going to miss out on some sort of team. Whether or not that's going to be managers missing out on good fixtures for Liverpool now that we're all on Haaland. I think we forget that, sure, Crystal Palace beat Liverpool, but now with everyone getting rid of Liverpool assets, they're still the best attacking side in the league. It's only a matter of time until Mohamed Salah starts returning consistently, like we know he can. So, again, there will be weeks where you miss out on a lot of players with a lot of good fixtures. I think that's just the nature of the game. And again, I could, cover myself in game week 7, bringing in a Eze. Again, it's not ideal, but I mean, you have to try cover it somehow. And that's why I do prefer Eze over Kuna. Now, if Eze does get a pension, I mean, it doesn't look great at all. And I could be in for a red arrow, but again, you can only do so much. Arsenal versus West Ham isn't as good as it was under Potter. Yeah, for sure. Funny to see the Potter sacking just before the deadline ended. I thought that was comical. Paul Van Resberg, he says, thank you, Chai and Gianni. We always appreciate everyone and everything you do for us. Thank you, Paul. Very kind words. Audio's fine. Clean up your ears, complainers. Nah, magic. We do understand. I could hear it myself. It is what it is. By the way, Scout almost on 100k subscribers. If you aren't somehow already subscribed to Scout, do hit that button for us. We're almost there, lads. Matthew says he's on 73 points all out. Spurs massively killing my week. Richarlison punt was a big mistake. You know, for what it's worth, I don't think Richarlison was necessarily a mistake. A player on penalties who I would expect if he's on the pitch. Again, Spurs just being underwhelming and being inconsistent. Struggling to create some chances, which, of course, disappointing for my own team. I am a Spurs fan and it is very, very frustrating. But, again, I think people forget that Frank is still... it's his first season. I think given some time, things will start to click for Frank, and I believe in Frank. I think he's a great manager. Sure, you can say he's got things wrong. I agree. He got this Wolves game wrong. The same way he got the Bournemouth game wrong. But he's going to get some things wrong, and he's going to learn. For me, of course, a lot of us Spurs fans want to see Xavi Simons in the 10. I think for me, it's a no-brainer. And again, Pat Matasar not in the squad, or not in the team, starting team, which again was a surprise for myself. I think he's been one of our best players, and there must be a reason for it, lads. But again, I back the manager. I always back the manager, and I'm always of the impression managers know better than I do. Again, what do I know? I'm sitting behind the screen hoping that he plays my players. So other than that, like, doesn't affect me too much. John Spencer's on a current live rank of 1,583. Absolutely amazing, John. Fair play. And Latino says he or she is at 1162, which is mental. So it looks to be all are doing better than me, which is absolutely amazing to see, lads. Only a short period ago, we were currently at those ranks making videos on Scout. But absolutely amazing, lads. And again, it still is early days. So as much as I am having a decent start to the season and trying to keep myself grounded, because there are still 32 game weeks to go, so, or 31 after this game week. So but yeah, if you of course you have to celebrate the weeks as they go. If you can't celebrate the weeks, then there's no point playing the game. But yeah, fair play, lads. Debajan says he has 2 free transfers. Should I sell Salah and Wood to bring in Saka and Gyökeres? It's interesting because I think it really depends on when you're wildcarding. You know, if you're not wildcarding anytime soon, maybe you want to hold on to Mo Salah. Again, Saka and Gyökeres long term also look great, but Wood is definitely a sell. I would say that for sure. Yeah, in terms of content creators, of course, we've had a flying start to the season, lads. No doubt about that. And I'm hoping, you know, wildcarders might gain on me in the short term. Again, if I didn't play my triple captain this week, I'd be seeing a big red arrow. It's a good thing to keep in mind. But it's good to note that I have the wildcard in the back pocket. And hopefully, in Game Week 8, I can have a bit of jam on the international break. I think that's such a big thing. A lot of our own players get injured during international breaks. And it's unusual that we have so many international breaks at the start of the season this time around. But it could swing my way, and big players do get injuries. And it makes some of my decisions on wildcard easy for me. Again, come Game Week 8, we might see the likes of Palmer come back versus Forest fully fit. Unlikely, again, he might still be a risk going into that game. We might see a fully fit Bukayo Saka. He's playing today, of course. But definitely something to keep an eye on. Mo Salah might return in Game Week 7. And suddenly, after the international break, we might have all eyes on him come Game Week 8. But yeah, I feel like the landscape could definitely change between now and then. And it's definitely a nice week to hit the wildcard button for me. Again, I still feel like if I could hold out until Game Week 12 or 13, I would love to do it. But with only potentially 1 Arsenal asset in 7 and 2 United assets, I don't fancy it. I would rather hold on to the United boys for the time being. Play the fixtures. It's the type of manager I am. I'm more than happy to play the fixtures. Always, always, always. And see what happens over the international break and try pick up some transfer value depending on that. So I think personally I'm in a good place right now. Again, I have used the triple captain and the free hit. But for me, I feel like the transfers are there to be used. So I'm more than happy to make moves on a week-to-week basis. Sure, you could roll with Gakpo in the team. Whether or not he gets another start, I'm unsure. I feel like it is an obvious move to bring in Eze or Mateus Cunha. But I feel like I'm an aggressive manager and I'll always play the fixtures in front of me. And I feel like it is a good move to make. What's a good rank to be in Game Week 10? Well, I feel like in Game Week 10 you want to be... Again, it's hard to set rank checkpoints. I mean... But I feel like top 2 million at that point. Again, it really depends on how many chips you want to consider. But I would say top 2 million at that point. You can still definitely, with 28 game weeks left, have a good end to the season or a good second half to the season. Again, it's always good to split the season in two halves. First 19 and then second 19 because you get the chips. And if your team is well set up for the second period of the season, when we do get blanks and double game weeks, I mean, it can make a world of a difference. So I wouldn't be too discouraged, even if I wasn't at 2 million come game week 10. Again, it really depends on how many chips though. Eden says, what would your backline look like on wildcard though? I'm considering Van Dijk, Burns, Senesi, Richards and Alderete. Yeah, so I've made, of course, a few drafts with game week 8 in mind, of course. And for me, I've actually not had Senesi in it. I feel like come game week 8, lads, Senesi's going to be 5 million. Now, you might say at 5 million, he's still great value picking up DEFCON every single week. But is that expected to slow down? I don't know. Is he going to get 38 out of 38 DEFCON and make a mockery of his price? I'm unsure. But again, playing the fixtures, I don't know if I'd have Senesi on game week 8 wildcard. And again, come game week 8, which is going to be tough, even the likes of a Semenyo might be at 8 million. So I'll have to consider the price points. Also, players, I know we always talk about, you know, losing team value with all of those wildcarding in game week 6 and game week 4. But there is also a lot of downgrades in players. I say downgrades, down in price for a lot of players who I might be able to pick up on my wildcard late. So it kind of works both ways again, of course. The ones who are on form are rising in points. Points over pounds, says Gianni, absolutely. All day. So I'm hoping I can set myself up well for a wildcard 8. And in my mind now, if you were to ask me now what I plan on doing, again, we'll have game week 7 and then we'll have the long international break where we'll be doing the Sunday streams as usual. And we'll see different iterations of my draft. I imagine I'll be hitting the button early to try pick up on price rises. But it's going to be interesting to see how my wildcard changes over the weeks. And it's cool to be doing it on an international break, to be honest. But for me, I feel like I'll be going down the Salah and Haaland route. I think it's unlikely that I don't. I really like the opening fixture of Salah at home to United, who seems to always do well. And again, underwhelming Liverpool performances, even though they've picked up the points recently. But you'd imagine with the firepower they have, it doesn't matter poor form or, I mean, like fixtures aren't there for Liverpool. I say they aren't there, but they aren't ideal. You're not going into a run of games where you need them. But for me, I'm still more than happy to have Salah because I feel like he's fixture proof. So let's see what I do. I feel like if the likes of a Saka and Palmer come back around, I mean, I'd be inclined to even double or triple up on the Chelsea attack. Again, the defence is a small bit underwhelming. But yeah, we're currently on the 34-minute mark. Do hit a like if you aren't, or if you are enjoying the stream. Again, we're trying our best, lads. And for anyone who's just joining, just having slight audio issues. But yeah, do let me know if you are in my position, what transfer you'd make. I'm quite intrigued to see what you guys would do because I like Eze. For me, a lot of people, I understand if you don't like to double up in Mbeumo and Fernandes. But for me, I don't care really how good or bad United are doing as long as the players I'm picking for them are doing well. And again, I feel like Mbeumo has been unfortunate not to return. Fernandes, of course, who missed the penalty. So it is small margins, lads. You have to remember that. But yeah, going into the game week with Watkins, who I feel like is a big confidence player. Delighted to own, to be honest, because a lot of people would have got rid of him on wildcard. And going into this game week off the back of 8 points, I feel like it will do his confidence a world of good after missing the penalty midweek, of course. Rob says, Chai, Foden or Doku if you are picking one now? For me, I'd still go Foden. Doku is on phenomenal form, don't get me wrong, but I feel like Foden, he's more clinical. We know Doku has struggled in the past in terms of finishing and supplying even. Gianni, don't be sorry. It could be easily on my end. If you are recording before this, I imagine it probably is on my end, to be honest. So I wouldn't press the blame on you. Don't worry. Maliki says that Watkins propaganda needs to stop. I can't get rid of Watkins ahead of Burnley at home. Let's be real. You can't do that, Maliki. Shame of getting rid of Rodgers, of course, ahead of Burnley at home after getting an assist. Quite jammy, might I add, but it is what it is. Where are we? Do you think two free transfers? Do you get two free transfers if you only have one free transfer when you hit free hit? No, you lose one transfer. So you'll only, if you use the free hit or wildcard, you'll only have one the next week. Rank doesn't mean a thing until game week 19, says Rose. Everyone would have played their chips for the first half of the season. That's a fair point. But then again, people are going to use their chips in different ways. To say it doesn't matter, I don't agree. Reason being, because if you are at a higher rank, you likely have players in place and you're going down a different chip route than other managers. For example, a lot of those who are currently doing well would have likely started the season with Erling Haaland. Therefore, they mightn't have had to wildcard in game week 6 or 4. But I do get what you're saying. So to say it's irrelevant, I don't agree with. But is it everything and be all and end all? No, for sure. Where are we? Will you be taking a -4 for Williams? Jamie asks. So I did consider this. I did like the prospect of bringing in Eze for what's his name, for Gakpo, of course. It leaves me with still 1.3 million in the bank, and I can do a Williams to the likes of a Calafiori. For a -4, is it justified? I'm unsure. Again, it's an Ange team that goes away to Newcastle. It could be a bloodbath. But I don't know if I can justify it, lads, just before wildcard. I'm unsure. Let me know what you think of that. Wait, using wildcard uses up a free transfer. It doesn't use up a free transfer. It rolls on to the next week. So you don't gain the one free transfer going into the next week, if that makes sense. Front three of Richarlison, Haaland and Pedro with 5 free transfers. 5 free transfers off spinner. I don't know if you've been inactive or you've been planning well, but fair play. 5 free transfers, who would you change, if any? I mean, you can't change Atten, I don't think, with Haaland, Richarlison and Pedro. Again, good fixtures for Pedro with Sunderland at home in mind. Richarlison, who was Leeds this game week. Haaland, of course, who's firing on all cylinders. Is bench boost viable game week 8? Absolutely it is. I'm just currently not on it because I'll be using a different chip. John Spencer says, it's taken 54 seconds for Joelinton to commit a foul. What a legend. Yeah, Joelinton loves a foul, man. 2 goals midweek, might I add. What a player. Former striker. Against Leeds, sorry. Yeah, Blazy, it is definitely viable. I wish I could get that out of the way. I did look at potentially not wildcarding in game week 8 and bench boosting in 8. Potentially bringing Krupi Jr. up to maybe Aloy Foster, but I don't think it's the optimal play for my own team. For me, I'd rather wildcard and remake the bench with some players who we know are doing good. Gianni says, so close from Eze, cracking save. So close. Yeah, I wonder how this Newcastle game is going to fare out. By the sounds of it, I assume Arsenal are doing well though. Gianni, do let us know in chat, or anyone who is watching. Pope, great save from Eze. All you guys are watching it and I'm here. I'm actually lagging behind here, lads. We have a minute left in the stream, lads. Again, just to recap. Eze, the likely transfer. Again, I'll have to see what happens this game week with Eze. The other move I could potentially make, Mateus Cunha. Where am I with captaincy with Fernandes and Haaland? Genuinely, if I'm being dead honest, I am 50-50 on this. People are going to hate that. But if you're asking me now, I don't make my captaincy decisions based on the last week, and anyone who follows me knows that. I previously captained Bruno Fernandes at home to Chelsea, so that will tell you the type of manager I am. And again, Haaland, of course, with 2 late returns with the triple captain. Again, not to take anything away, but still going with Sunderland at home, lads. I always play the fixtures for anyone that knows me. Anyway, we'll close it up there on a cliffhanger. Do stay tuned. If you aren't already subscribed to my own channel, do subscribe to me at FPL Chai. And if you aren't already subscribed to Gianni Battici and you want to see more of him, do subscribe to Gianni. I see him nodding his head. But yeah, lads, sorry for the audio interruptions again. I do apologise. I know it is frustrating for you guys, but we are trying our best. And if you did like the stream, of course, hit the like button before you go out. And as usual, lads, we'll leave it there and I will see you in the next.